Okay, so start Bandlab. Then in the bottom right hand corner, click on the folder with a music note on it. Then top of the screen, there's a plus sign. If you click on the plus sign, you'll start a new project by clicking now on new project. Now scroll across the screen until you get to the looper and click on the looper. Now you'll see any loop sets that you've already downloaded. If you haven't already got any downloaded, simply click on Discover at the top of the screen, and then you'll see a list of all the different loop sets that you can download. And along the top you can see, if you click on hip hop there, it will just show you the hip hop ones, and if you want indie, you can just click on the indie button and that will show you those. Oh, there's only one. And if you scroll, put your finger where it says indie and then scroll, you can move to different types. So you can move to funk, for instance, or scroll further down and you get to trance maybe. Or you can go scroll back to the beginning, click on all, and it will show you all of them. Now on each one of these sets, you'll see on the left hand side of the set, to the left of the name of the set, there's a circle with a triangle in it. If you press on that triangle, it'll start playing a sample of that preset. If that preset's one you want, right hand side of the preset, you'll see that there's a cloud with an arrow. If you click on that, it will then download. Then that circle says that it's downloading to your machine. So as long as you've got a Wi-Fi connection, or in this case I'm on the phone, so I've got an internet connection through my phone, it will attempt to download. On top of the screen, I'm just going to click on where it says library, and that shows the ones that I've already got downloaded. So I'm going to just click on that bedroom beats one now, and that will then select that. And then this screen comes up, and each one of these squares is a pad. And if you press on one of the pads, it will start playing. And if you press on another pad in the same color row, then that pad will start on the next beat, and the pad that you've already been playing will stop playing. And if you press a pad of a different color row, then that will play as well as the first pad. If you want to add the sound effect, just click near the bottom of the screen, just above the red dot. You'll see there's a group there, and one says FX, and you click on the FX, it will now bring the FX up, and if you scroll, it will automatically move on to the next one, and that will just give you the different effects that you can add to the whole group of sounds. To get back to the pads, next to FX, to the left of the FX button is one with 6 squares on it, and if you click on that, you'll get back to the pads. Now, if you want to record something, down the bottom you've got your red dot, which is your record button. But before we do that, I just want to take you to another section. So at the top of the screen, top right, you'll see there's a cloud with an up sign. Well, just below that, there's like a V sign. And you click on that, and that will take you to this screen. This is the tracks. And as you can see, that loop set that's been added is in track 1 now. And I would recommend, if you're going to record this looper and you're going to record different bits, that I would have a different track for each one. So what I'm going to do here, next to the track, there is, on this one, is a red icon, which is an image of the looper. If you click on that and drag it to the right, you'll see it opens up, and this will give you some options here. The main one just underneath where it says bedroom beats, just below that there's a line, and that is the volume, so you can set the volume for it. To the left of that is an M and an S, and that's for mono or stereo. And to the right of it you've got a dial which allows you to set the track to either the center as it is now, or you can drag that around and make it to the left and drag it round back the other way to the right. And just above that you've got 3 dots, and you click on those 3 dots and you get these options. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on duplicate. So now I've got the same pads but on 2 tracks. So I'm going to just click on the icon again and drag it back to the left so it closes it. I'm going to double click on the red icon, so that brings these pads back up. And the reason I'm doing it on 2 tracks is because it's a lot easier to control what you're recording that way. So what I'm going to do here is, at the top of the screen, top right is the cloud with an up arrow, and next to that, to the left of it, is a cog, and that is settings. So I'm going to click on that settings button, and here you can see it shows the tempo, signature, and various different things. And if you scroll down, you'll come across one here that says counting. So you click on counting, and you can put that to off 1 bar or 2 bars. And I got it on 1 bar. So to get back to the other screen, at the top of the screen at the moment, the cog for settings is highlighted, and the next image next to that is a pen, and then next to that is a image of a wave. And if you click on that, that brings you back to the pads. So now if I click on the red button at the bottom of the screen, it will then start to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the recording will start. So I would say if you want it to start straight away, when it gets to 3, press a pad that you want to start. So I'm just going to do record the beats from this one, which is the top line. So 1, 2, 3, click on beats. I'm just going to stop it there. And then you're going to have to turn the pad back off once you've finished the recording. Now back at the top of the screen again, underneath the cloud with an arrow, you've got the V, and if you click on that V now, it'll bring you back to this screen, and you'll notice now I've got my recording here. And this white bar running down the screen is where the track marker is. And if you put your finger on the track and then drag it to the right, you can scroll back to the beginning of the track. So if I play it now, I'm going to stop that and click on return. So the return button is the one to the left of the red button at the bottom of the screen. So just above the track you can see that it's got these numbers and markers, and the number has got 1 and then it's got 2, and between those two there is 3 lines between the two. Now each one of those lines is a representative of a beat. So effectively the first beat is where 1 is, and then the next line is 2, and the next line is 3, and the next one is 4, and then just under 2 is it goes back to 1 again. So what I want to do is keep the recording for the first 4 bars. So I'm going to scroll down. So 2 is the end of the first bar, 3 is the end of the second bar, 4 is the end of the third bar, and 5 is the end of the fourth bar. So that's where I want it to do. So I'm going to tap hard on the track now, and this will bring up this screen. Now what I want is at the end of the recording is this white dot, and I'm going to hold my finger on that white dot and I'm going to drag it back to where it says 5, and it should snap into the beat. So now that I've got that 4 beats long, click on it again, so it brings up this heading. Along the top here you've got these different options, and I want the one that says loop, so I'm going to click on loop. Now that will loop it up, and at the bottom of the screen it shows you the loop, and I'm going to click on the last one, which basically says to the end of the track. Then I'm going to click on the X to close the loop. Now I'm going to click below the track so the recording is no longer highlighted, and then I'm going to drag the recording down a bit. At the bottom of the screen you'll notice underneath the white marker is a number, and at the moment that says 003520, and that's the position in the song. So I'm just going to move that down so that at the bottom of the screen it says 3 minutes. Click hard on the track again to bring this back up. Then I'm going to click on slice. Now that's split the two apart now. So I'm going to click hard on the second section because I don't want that bit, so I'm going to click on cut. So that's been removed. So now I've got that track recording all the way for 3 minutes or thereabouts. Now I'm going to click on the second track, which is the blue one here. I'm going to click on the blue icon, double hit that, so it brings up the second track with the same pads. So now when I press on the red button, it's going to give me the countdown again. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and on 3 I'm going to click on the guitar track, so I record that. Just going to click on the red button now. 2, 3. So now if I go back to the top of the screen and just underneath the cloud with an arrow I click on the V sign again, you see I've got these 2 tracks now. And if I don't want track 2 to start straight away at the beginning, I can just click on the track so it's highlighted, and I can then just drag it and then it will click into place. So it's now starting from the second bar instead of the first bar. So if I just move it back to the beginning of the track, and now I can play. And that's just the basic principle of recording the pads on different tracks. If you wanted to add another track with a different pad set, you click on plus, and then you go down to looper and click on looper, and then you've got your different tracks here. Underneath the name of the song, it says, like the second one here says hip hop. That's just the grouping it comes from. You don't have to take it from the same grouping. Then it's got 75 BPM, and that is the speed that these pads are designed to work at. But you can add that one to, say, the same one as the one above it, the electric chill, which is 100 BPM, and well, you can set the BPM to whatever you want. So you can use both of them together. That BPM just recommends, but you can change the speed of that. So if you, like I've got now, I've got the bedroom beat set up. It's set up at 75 beats. So if I now click on the electric chill and add that one, it'll ask me now, recommended setting for this is 100 BPM and A minor. Well, I'm going to say no thanks because I want the two to join up. There's an image near the bottom of the screen here which is green with 6 squares on it, and to the left of that is an image with a note on it. If I click on that one, that takes me back to this screen of my loop sets. And if I want to change the loop set, maybe I've decided the one I've just pulled in doesn't match, I can then just click on any of these to change it. But I'm going to click on the Retro City Pop here now, and you'll see now that it loads in the Retro City Pop, and it also asks again about whether I want to set the tempo and key to that one. And if I decided I wanted to move the whole thing to that key and tempo, I could just click on set tempo and key, but I'm going to click on no thanks. I'm going to click on this pad at the bottom, and just below that pad is a pen. And if you click on that pen, it will bring up this screen at the bottom, and you can see there that you've got options. So I can set that pad to either be a loop or a one shot. Now loop will obviously mean that the sound, when it reaches the end, will loop back and play again. The one shot means that when you press on that pad, it will play all the way through the sound from beginning to end. If you click on gate, that will mean that when you click on the pad, it will only play for as long as you've got your finger down on the pad. And the last one, re-trigger, that means that if you click on the pad, it will start to play the pad, but if you click on it a second time, rather than turn off, it will restart the pad from the beginning. So basically how that works is when you click on the pen, one of the pads will be highlighted, and you can change that pad. So I'm going to just click on this one here, and then I can change it from loop to one shot, or to gate, or to re-trigger. And you'll see that the icon on that pad now changes to suit whichever one I change it to. And when I've finished changing it, I just click on the pen again, and that turns that off. If you've enjoyed this video, do give us a thumbs up and click on that subscribe button. Cheers.